Hey, pull up a chair because I would like the two of us to spend half an hour talking about our top 10 favourite Doctor Who Target book covers of all time, in order. I'll show you mine if you'll show me yours. In today's video, I'll take the top 10 chart down from 10 to 6, and then in tomorrow's final video, we'll go from 5 to 1. Which of these covers will be my all-time favourite, and more importantly, which will be yours? Let's find out. Hello Master, I'm Jason Arnott, the author of The Last Days of Jack Sparks, Ghoster and some Doctor Who stuff. You might enjoy my book Auto Rewind, which centres on a severely messed up Doctor Who fan. In case you don't know, Target books are novelisations of Doctor Who TV serials. Target published these novels between 1973 and 1991, and at a time when most Doctor Who fans thought they would never see some old serials again, this was pretty amazing. It was a chance to relive these stories in another form, even though notoriously Target books changed quite a few of the serials' titles for these novelisations, as we'll see. Target novels feel particularly special to me because in most cases they were my first opportunity to see the imagery from the first three Doctors' eras. Those monsters, those stories, those portraits of the Doctor. Target book covers created a magical atmosphere all of their own. It's been incredibly difficult to choose my top 10 Target book covers of all time in order, and no doubt yours will be entirely different, and that's why, regardless of how much of this video you choose to watch, I want you down there in comments giving me your top 10. Pull up a chair, stir your tea, and let's get down to it. Okay then, The Curse of Paladin. I think the reason I love this cover is pretty much the same reason why I love the serial. I mean, it's my favourite, I think, third Doctor John Pertwee serial in Doctor Who. And that reason is that it's just such a monster fest. There are actually even more monsters in this serial. Surely they could have had Arcturus peering over Agador's shoulder there. That wouldn't have been too much trouble with it. So you've got a very small ice warrior here, a lovely portrait of Pertwee, the lovely Alpha Centauri, who recently made their reappearance in The Empress of Mars in the new series, or the recent series, and of course Agador looking resplendent but still kind of cuddly at the same time. That's the thing with Agador, you don't know whether to give him a cuddle or run away from him. Depends whether you're singing him a Venusian lullaby at the time, doesn't it? Yeah, this is lovely. And even the blurbs on the back of these books tend to be fantastic. Now, some of these books have illustrations in, but I don't think this is one. Oh, no, hold on. This is one of them. I love it when that happens. It's like a special bonus. It's like getting the golden Willy Wonka ticket. Yes. Now, I'm pretty sure Agador wasn't this big in the TV serial, and so that's... and the corridors certainly didn't look like that. Although I actually really love the atmosphere of the sets in The Curse of Paladin. Although in my mind, they're not sets. They're, you know, that really is Paladin. Anything else, or was it just a one-off? No. Ah, lovely collection of monsters. Is that Arcturus there? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Lovely. Ah, yes. Hepesh and Grun with an Agador statue. God, they definitely liked Agador in this, didn't they? They really favoured him. Nice bit of arena combat. I would really like to see a proper illustration of Arcturus. I don't know why I'm so obsessed by him. Well, he is pretty cool, let's be honest. The Curse of Paladin, amazing. Even with all the brown on this cover. I think that's probably one of the reasons why this doesn't have a higher position in this list, this book, because of the brown. I don't like the brown so much. This next book is a little bit faded, a little bit worn from use over the years, I guess. But nevertheless, that cover really is one of the more kinetic and dynamic Target book covers, isn't it? A lot of the Target covers are quite static. You know, they're monsters not doing very much and the Doctor looking at the camera in an enigmatic Gallifreyan kind of way. But this looks like it's full on war, full-scale battles breaking out in London. That actually looks very familiar, doesn't it? From the it really reminds me of Aliens of London. Yeah, lovely cover, great colours, even though it's a little bit faded. City now ruled by Daleks, classic. Now, are there any illustrations in this? I don't believe there are. Okay, just the cover then, that's good enough for us. Very much also worth mentioning that this cover is by Chris Achilleos, who you'll see has designed, I think, most of the covers on this list. Oh yes, Doctor Who and the Cybermen. Now, could there possibly be a more simple and to the point title than that? It's doing what it says on the tin. Of course, the TV serial that this book was based on had a different title. It was called The Moon Base, but Doctor Who and the Cybermen is a pretty special title. There's just something about this. I mean, it's got this kind of trademark Achilleos, I don't know what you'd call this. It's kind of a certain kind of fuzz, isn't it? But you can see it on so many of his covers, and it's a great trademark of his work. That Cyberman looks so cool, very cool indeed, and that's a really good portrait of Troughton. And look at this blurb. One by one their limbs became diseased. They were replaced by plastic and steel. Little by little their brains tired. Computers work just as well. Lots of exclamation marks there, but can the Doctor defeat an enemy whose threat is almost as great as that of the mighty Daleks? So whoever wrote this blurb was very much on the Dalek side of the Daleks versus Cybermen debate, I'm saying. Whoa, 35p. Now, are there any illustrations? Oh, there are. I think we need to look at the illustrations, don't you? I think you want to. I'm going to decide for you. You can always forward wind, I suppose, if you don't want to. On second thoughts, that's quite boring, isn't it? Where are the Cybermen? That's an interesting placement for an illustration, isn't it? Just stick it in there halfway through a paragraph. Jamie, meanwhile, had found something else to look at. Boring. Can you tell that when it comes to Doctor Who, I'm still very much 5 years old? Oh, that's great. That's worth searching through this book for, isn't it? Look at that hand. Yeah, that's good stuff. I can't actually remember that from being a kid. You'd think that would be really ingrained in my head. But no. Oh yeah, I remember this though. A cyber attack. A massive chopping blow to the necks. Always bad, isn't it? Always bad. Zombies. Yeah. Great, finally some full-on Cybermen action. Yeah, that's really cool. I think that's done. Okay. Yeah, that's just that's a doozy to me. I'm really going to try not to overdo the word iconic, but nevertheless, you know what the word is for that, don't you? Speaking of which, Doctor Who and the Daleks. Yeah, I mean, that's a gorgeous cover, isn't it? Gorgeous. And there's just something about this that seems to sum up kind of all of Doctor Who. Yeah, you've got the TARDIS, you've got William Hartnell, the first Doctor, and of course you've got the Daleks. It's based on the serial, The Daleks, also known as The Mutants and the Dead Planet, which was the second ever serial broadcast in 1963. Now I want to show you the title inside, Doctor Who in an Exciting Adventure with the Daleks. And this is because this novelisation had been previously published by a different company under that name. Doctor Who in an Exciting Adventure with the Daleks. How cool is that? That's just wonderful, isn't it? Makes your heart melt. The reason I'm being a bit coy with turning this cover over is that inside this cover is my childish scrawl writing down my name and home address. So yeah, this is definitely the original one that I had. Ah, nice. I'd forgotten that this had illustrations. Don't know how I feel about them, to be honest. Yeah, there's a certain style about them, shall we say. Not many Daleks, though. I wonder who chose which pictures from the novelisation the artist got to draw. I'm starting to sense that this artist didn't fancy drawing Daleks. Oh no, hold on. Fair enough then. Fair enough. Yeah, look at those classic doorways. That's a nice two-hander, as they say. Yeah, that's just very special. Let's have a look at this. This is Doctor Who's first exciting adventure with the Daleks. Can't say fairer than that, can you? Wow. Very special indeed. Next up, inevitably, it's Mordrin Undead. Just kidding. The Doomsday Weapon, Doctor Who and the Doomsday Weapon, which in the TV serial form was Colony in Space. Completely different, so I've got no idea why that was changed to the Doomsday Weapon, but I really like this cover. I mean, I know that Doctor Who and the Daleks and Doctor Who and the Cybermen are much more iconic because they've got Daleks and Cybermen on them, but there's something about this cover that I just think is gorgeous. I think it's partly because of the colours, partly because the Doctor and the Master, and I think it's partly nostalgia. For some reason I just really remember this cover quite strongly. I also obviously like the fact that it looks like Pertwee has enormous demon claws. That's a bonus, isn't it? And there's a nice planet in the background and lots of little planets to give it a kind of intergalactic scale. How absolutely delicious. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, the evil Master has stolen the Time Lord's file on the horrifying Doomsday Weapon. That's a little bit clumsy, that, isn't it? Can't help subbing some of this stuff. The evil Master has stolen the Time Lord's file on the horrifying Doomsday Weapon, with which, when he finds it, he can blast whole planets out of existence and make himself ruler of the galaxy. Yeah, probably should have split that into 2 sentences. Are there any illustrations in here? Yeah, actually I remember a few in here. That IMC robot is in here, I'm pretty sure. I like that robot. When I was a kid, even before I ever saw the serial. Oh, look at those claws, there we go. Yes, the flaying claws. Doctor Who and the Doomsday Weapon, that is a corker. But there are even bigger corkers to come. We're only halfway through this list. Number 6. That's where this video must sadly come to an end, but the discussion has only just begun. I would love for you to get down there in comments and talk about your favourite Target book covers, or indeed just your Target book memories, full stop. If you want, you can put your top 10 favourite Target book covers down there. That would be fantastic to see. If you'd like to be sure of catching tomorrow's final instalment, in which I'll count down from 5 to 1, then hit subscribe and the small notification bell beside it to make sure you don't miss a thing. Thanks so much for watching and have a magical day.